Today's podcast is about accents. Many students of English believe that the standard form of American English learned in the classrooms is the only form of American English they can learn. So they usually ask, why do I not understand some American native speakers? What's wrong with me? The truth is that the formal English that we learn in the classrooms is most of the time so different from the way native speakers talk. Among other reasons, it is due to the existence of what it is called dialects. A dialect is not a minor form of language. It is the way a specific community uses the official language, the standard language. Communities from different regions can speak the same language but differently. The difference can be based on pronunciation, vocabulary, and even grammar. There are more than 60 dialects in USA territory. Among them, the Northern and Southern dialects, the Boston dialect, the New York dialect, the Texas dialect, and the African American Vernacular English dialect. As you see, the list is long. We didn't mention the dialects from all over the world, but they are more than 100, including the more than 30 British dialects, the Australian dialect, the Canadian dialect, and other non-native speaking countries where the English language is spoken. Every single community has its own dialect and, of course, its own accent. English as a second language students need to understand this and not to feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable when they face the shocking experience of talking to a native English speaker who has an accent that makes his English a language almost impossible to understand. When such situation occurs, it is the encounter of two accents that creates the conflict, the interference, yours and the other accents. Our mother tongue sounds and intonation patterns interfere constantly the way we speak other languages. We tend to speak with an accent. Native English speakers are able to identify almost immediately the particular way you pronounce their language, in spite of hours of intensive and exhausting exercises under the supervision of speech trainers. To get rid of our own accent is the most difficult thing to do. We can try hard for years, but we will never speak like a native English speaker. Our mother tongue will be affecting, in one way or another, our pronunciation. It is not the objective of learning a new language to speak like native speakers do. Some students have the ability to produce an accent very similar, almost identical, to native speakers of English, but this is just a plus in their learning. The purpose of learning a new language is not to have a perfect English accent, but to communicate our thoughts and feelings efficiently. Such proficiency is possible to be reached without sacrificing our own accents. I remember having part of a multinational meeting. We were 5 persons from different nationalities who tried to arrive at an agreement about a task given during a conversation class. There were 2 young men from Japan, a woman from India, a Chinese man, and a Peruvian guy. I was the last one. We needed to discuss certain information from 2 small cards. We literally could not understand each other, not even a word, on our first try. But after a few minutes we could. That day, we had a long discussion about crucial ethical topics. It was one of the most incredible experiences I ever had. As I said before, accents can interfere our communication. But if we are able to control efficiently the proper sounds of English, I mean vowels and consonants, we will overcome any communication problem. So, for a while, we will concentrate on the sounds of English as our main concerns. The next podcast will cover progressively information related to vowels, consonants, diphthongs and triphthongs, and the way they have to be articulated in English words. Future works will include topics in intonation patterns and English rhythm, as well as the natural speech phenomena. Important topics to get fluency and confidence in spoken English. I hope to help you get a deep understanding of all subjects that will be covered along the next podcast. Good luck and keep in touch with our weekly podcast available in iTunes Store for free. This is a Say It in English podcast. Your improved pronunciation is just waiting for you.